I
Well,
mean, that's an issue.
Dario, had a note that you wanted on the about the Liam Fox speech. Uh,
Yeah. I mean, this is part and parcel of it. I think where nobody know. I mean, they say Brexit is Brexit. That's got to be the most stupidly inane phrase I've ever heard. It's like saying fish are fish or beans means Heinz. I mean, for Christ's sake. Um, but yeah, I mean, it was really interesting watching Liam Fox on the news. I mean, not that he's interesting to watch per se, but what he was talking about was, Britain being open for business in this globalized sense. And if you turn, that is absolutely the opposite of what the Brexiteers, I think, were campaigning on and what the public voted on. I mean, I don't want to speak for the British public, but my sense of it is that a lot of people are voting on this kind of Britain first. We need to protect what they constitute as British industry and British jobs and British workers. I like saying, now going out into the global stage and saying we're a globalized nation and we're going to be out there bringing people in, and you know what I mean? It seems to me to be completely antithetical to what Brexit was voted for.
Yeah, did you see that speech?
no, no, I was on the
Yeah,
across the way, but
it was. I'm basically Liam Fox, who's the trade secretary, I think, and he's a hard right. Well, an ideological Brexiteer, and he's one of the three Brexiteers, along with David Davis Johnson and Johnson. And he came out with this speech when, as Darren was saying, when he was talking about free movement of labour. But also the other interpretation of it in the media was that he was giving an indication that there should be a hard Brexit, i.e. basically crash out of the EU.
Yeah. I mean, it is such a ridiculous issue at this point, because it's clear there's no plan, and it's clear that nobody knows what to do. I mean, one of the interesting things was the Lib Dems conference. They made a lot of noise about staying in, etc., but their leader, it came out just before I left for the States, has had zero impact. Tim Farron, if anybody can even remember who the leader of the Lib Dems is, has had zero impact in moving the dials on the party. And, I keep getting all this internal propaganda talking about the fact that they've won so many local election seats, 11 away from the top. I'm thinking 11 seats. Now, if those were parliamentary by-elections, 11 council seats, and, we're back, Lib Dem Fight Back is on, and I'm thinking, where? Because, the leadership under, he's a nice guy, all right, and he's very fiery, and he gives great speeches, but he's not been able to move the dial. He's not been able to get the television. Norman Lamb gets better coverage than he does, and that was his opponent for the leadership. His speech got better coverage than Tim's did, and you find yourself going, guys, you still go to Parliament in 2 minibuses, okay? You've only got 8 seats at a time when you had 60 something, and now you lost 53 seats in that election, and yet what are you smoking?
I mean, it's interesting because we talk a lot, don't we, about the sort of fracturing of the electorate. So, voters going to the Greens or going to UKIP or going to the SNP, but it seems to me that the Tories have almost benefited from that, in that a coherent voting bloc has managed to sort of stay together around the Tories, and that's why they've got I mean, it's a small majority, but the majority that they have.
Right. I mean, they are, they're powerful. Obviously, May is massively popular, but also the opposition, frankly, is in total disarray.
Yeah.
And they are benefiting from that.
And this is what scares me about the U.S. election 38 days from now, because you have Jill Stein on the Greens, who is absolutely ridiculous. You've got Gary Johnson, who can't find Aleppo on a map for the Libertarians. And you've got this, new wild card conservative guy who used to work for the CIA or the NSA. I can't remember which one it was. But they're fracturing on both sides of the vote, and you wonder where the coherent voting bloc is going to be, because Republicans are deeply divided, Democrats are deeply divided, and that's what makes this election a complete toss-up.
There are parallels, aren't there? Yeah. Absolutely parallels.